Good evening, all of you. May I start, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Good evening, all of you, once again. Today, our session is on 21st century skills, and I hope you all are excited about today's session, as I am. Uh, Thank you, Patliputra Sahodaya, for giving me this chance to discuss this through this platform amongst the teachers, educators who are all present here today. So just give me a chance to open my PPT and share. Just a second. Uh, okay. Friends, I hope my PPT is visible to you all. I will put it in slideshow view so that it's a little bigger and better for all of you. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shruti ji. Okay. So today our topic is 21st century learners and what are the 21st century skills that these learners should be knowing. So a very small and simple question to all of you first of all is that suppose you're traveling somewhere and you are traveling on a boat, okay, or through on a ship, anything. And then what happens is in the middle of that water body, wherever you are, the ship starts stumbling. Okay, it starts deviating from its normal motion. Now you tell me whether you are MSc or MA or you have done PhD or you are a great educator, you've got so many awards, thesis, you have everything. Will those degrees be able to save you during this situation where you are on a ship or where you are on a boat and there is some kind of turmoil in that situation, and you have to save your life or you have to save your friend's life or you have to save the life of your family members? Will your degrees be able to save that? And I'm so happy that I've already got a few answers in the chat box and they are all saying no. Then, friends, what can save you? Another question for you, friends. Please use your fingers on the chat box. Then, what can actually save you that day? If degrees cannot save, if education cannot save, very good, beautiful. Answer has already come. Our skills can save. Our skills. Now, in continuation to that, may I please ask you which skill can save you? Which skill can save you that day? God forbid, if that day comes in your life, which skill will be able to save you? Presence of mind, very good. There are so many ways to get rid. You will use a lifeboat, you'll use a life jacket, you can swim, very good. So presence of mind, the technique of swimming can save you that day. Beautiful. Thank you for your answers, dear friends. I'm sure all of you are very attentive. Common sense, very good. Technical assistance, beautiful answers. Beautiful answers. Thank you so much. So this means that all of us agree to the fact that degrees are not alone going to save us. Along with the degrees, we need our presence of mind. We need some skills. We need the thinking skills. कि भाई ऐसा एक situation है, तो how should I react? Presence of mind आपका तभी काम करेगा when you are ready to think. Suppose you sit and start crying and howling and shouting in such a situation. Will you be able to save yourself? I'm sure you'll not be. So, in any situation, what actually helps us is our skills. Now, skills are of two types. Either they are inbuilt skills, चलो inbuilt है तो कोई बात ही नहीं है, फिर तो उसके बारे में बात ही नहीं करनी. लेकिन अगर inbuilt नहीं है तो can we develop those skills? Can we develop those skills within ourselves? Yes, we can do that. And that is actually the purpose of today's training, today's session. That what are the skills to excel in a drama called life? What is life, friends? Life is a drama and we're all playing our roles, as Shakespeare said long ago. So इस ड्रामा में अगर आपको अपना रोल निभाना है तो how can you do that in the best possible way? That is by acquiring some skills. So today, basically, we're going to discuss that what are those skills and how can you develop that as a teacher. Suppose you're teaching English, you're teaching EVS, you're teaching maths, you're teaching art, whatsoever, you're a PhD teacher. तो फिर आप ये सवाल करेंगे, मैम, how do I contribute towards developing 21st century skills amongst my students? So this is the fact which is there on your screen right now, that what you scored in classes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc., 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 is not important. The A graders, those who get A plus, A grade in all the subjects, they are not the people who only survive. There are many students who get D grade maybe in academics, but then they may be much more skillful than the A graders. And sometimes we see this. You are a teacher, you can make an analytical study and you will find that sometimes what happens, the backbenchers or the so-called mediocres, what we call them, they do better in life than the A graders. Am I right? Have you come across such examples in life where the A plus ones do not excel in real life as much as they excel in classroom situations? Okay, so what we try to understand and infer is that we don't remember our marks, what we got in school or college. I'm a principal of a school, and what happens is this is a recruitment season also. So when people come, teachers come, and we give them a form to fill up, and then in that we write that in class 10th which year you have passed, what were the subjects, what was your percentage, 12 which year you have passed, then your BSc or BA, B.Ed, M.Ed, whatever we ask. I see, personally I see from my CCTV that many, in fact I should say most of the people, they take out their resume where they have written the marks and everything, or they take out their mark sheets and they copy from there. So this itself shows how important marks are in your life. जब टीचर जी को अपने नंबर ही नहीं याद है, तो आप क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हो कि हमें दुनिया भर के बच्चों के नंबर्स और लोगों के नंबर्स याद रहेंगे? ऐसा कभी हो ही नहीं सकता. Okay, so what we remember, actually, you will ask a question, then what is the purpose of education? What is the purpose of assessment? What is the purpose of getting marks? What is the purpose? There's no. So what is the purpose of education? What is the purpose of assessment? What is the purpose of examination? What is the purpose of getting marks and giving grades? See, this is a system where we try to find out how much learning has taken place. But this learning is only associated with your textbooks, with your academic part. Okay? But actually, if you talk about learning, holistic learning, then we remember incidents. We remember experiences. I'm sure if I ask you to please close your eyes for a minute and think about a teacher, you all can do that. And then if I ask you the question that why did you think about this teacher only? Why didn't you think about n number of teachers who came in your life? Then you will say, ma'am, because once this happened. And you remember this. And you remember this incident which took place, which is associated with this teacher. So in life, we only remember the moments. We remember experiences. जब हमारी शादी होती है और हम पहली बार हस्बैंड के साथ या वाइफ के साथ कहीं घूमने जाते हैं, हमें वो याद रहता है. इसके बाद हम बहुत जगह घूमते हैं. अगर ऐसा कुछ एक्सपीरियंस होगा तो याद रहेगा. वैसे आपको थोड़ी याद रहेगा कि हम ए जगह गए थे, वहां से हम बी पॉइंट पे गए थे, सी पॉइंट पे गए थे, डी पॉइंट पे गए थे. यू डोंट रिमेंबर लाइक दिस. So life is all about incidents and experiences. So your role as a teacher should be that how much experience you can create in a child's life. How many ripples you can create in a child's life. Because उस बच्चे का जो जीवन होता है, जो स्कूल में होता है, that is just like a stagnant water body. So stagnant water body, that means nothing will grow there, nothing will move there, nothing great will come out from there. But the moment you throw a stone in that, what happens? There are ripples. So you have to create those ripples. I mean, without throwing a stone, of course. So you have to create those ripples in the child's life so that the child doesn't become stagnant water. The child becomes moving water. And when the water is moving, there is no there is no smell, there is nothing wrong, there's no stagnation, and things will start moving and happening in his or her life. Are you understanding? So today, this is our purpose, that how can we integrate skills into our curriculum? How can we integrate skills in our lesson plan? How can we integrate skills in our day-to-day teaching process? Because after all, जब वो बच्चा क्लास 12 पास करके निकलेगा, तो जो उसे याद रहेगा वो है skills. जो उसके काम आएगा जीवन में वो है skills. So these skills need to be inculcated in the student right from the school time. So today's learners are no longer the people our educational system was designed to teach. तो ये चीज हमें याद रखना है. बहुत सारे आप लोगों में से बहुत सारे लोगों के दिमाग में क्वेश्चन आ रहा होगा कि मैम, I being a so and so subject teacher, how can I inculcate skills? Because हमारे को जैसे पढ़ाया जाता था स्कूल में, या आप अभी नॉर्मल अगर आप ट्रेडिशनल मेथड में पढ़ा रहे हैं अभी तक, आफ्टर सो मेनी ट्रेनिंग्स, इफ यू स्टिल स्टिक टू द ट्रेडिशनल मेथड, देन इन द ट्रेडिशनल मेथड देयर इज अ लर्निंग आउटकम एंड देयर इज अ topic and there are question answers and there is assessment. That's it. But you have to shift. There should be a paradigm shift from the traditional method to the new method, to the experiential methods, to the new pedagogies. Because what children were 20 years ago are not the same. The way, the process, the method by which you were taught in your school, you cannot use the same methods. You cannot use the same process. You cannot use the same technique for teaching the kids in your school. Because the students have changed. Their inclinations have changed. Their choices have changed. Their likes and dislikes have changed. Their mental level has changed. Their physical nature has changed. Everything, there's a change. So that means if educationists remain stagnant, if educationists feel that nahi ma'am, मैं तो जैसे पढ़ाता था वैसे ही पढ़ाऊंगा, मैं अपने मेथड को नहीं चेंज करूंगा, दिस इज द बेस्ट मेथड, तो क्या होगा, बच्चे बहुत आगे चले जाएंगे और आप बहुत पीछे रह जाएंगे. और जब बच्चे बहुत आगे चले जाएंगे और आप बहुत पीछे रह जाएंगे, then what will happen? Then there will be a lack of communication. There will be lack of inclination towards school, towards academics. So you have to understand that you have to also move, keep on moving. चाहे आपको brisk walk करना पड़े, या आपको jogging करना पड़े, या आपको running करना पड़े, depend करता है आप कितने पीछे हैं. उस हिसाब से आपको दौड़ लगानी होगी कि आप बच्चों के लेवल तक पहुंच सके. So this is the purpose of today's training. Now, why did I say this? That today's students are different from the students who were of our time. मतलब जब हम students थे, तो हमें और हमारे students में क्या फर्क है? What is the difference? Why we need to change our technique? What is the reason of changing the technique? There should be a good reason why we need to change the technique. So first, today's students have very short attention span. When I was a student and we used to talk about attention span, or in fact, when I became a teacher for the first time, this is now 25 years ago, we used to say that the attention span of students is around, 10 to 12 minutes. We used to say this. But do you know how less it has become now? The attention span of today's students is most likely to be 5 to 6 minutes. Can you believe this? And you have a period of 35 or 40 minutes. Some schools have 45 minutes period also, I know. So friends, you just tell me one thing, whether concentration span of the child is 5 minutes or 6 minutes or maximum 7 minutes. वहां आप एक 45 मिनट की पीरियड करते हैं, तो आपको कितनी बार ब्रेक करना होगा अपनी टीचिंग को? Have you thought of this? You have to give 5-6 breaks in your teaching so that the child's concentration span is held. Suppose you're teaching any topic, you're teaching polynomials, you're teaching Indian history, you're teaching civics, you're teaching English, okay? Now, आपका बच्चा, आप no matter कितना भी अच्छा बोल रहे हो, कितनी भी अच्छी explanation हो आपकी, कितना भी अच्छा आपका board work हो, you can only hold that child's attention for 5 to 6 minutes. After that, what do you need to do? You need to give a break. And that break can be in form of anything. This is known as transition. अभी छोटे बच्चों के क्लास में आप जाओ तो टीचर ट्रांजिशन कैसे कराती है? Come on, let's do a rhyme, small rhyme. Ringa ringa roses. No, child says ringa ringa roses. 2 मिनट की ब्रेक हो गई, फिर बच्चा आ गया पढ़ाई में. हमारे बड़े में क्या हो सकता है? हम रिंगा रिंगा रोजेस तो नहीं करा सकते, करा भी सकते कभी कभी. नेवर माइंड, एवरीबody loves to become a child at times. Then what do you need to do? You need to maybe discuss a case study. You need to do a role play. You can allow them to drink water. You can do some stretching exercises with them. You can make them laugh for some time. You can show them a small video clip. You can make them listen to a small song which they like. So, something or the other has to be done so that you can catch the attention of the child, at least as long as you feel like teaching. Next is, there should be a paradigm shift in your teaching methodology also. Like, आप सिर्फ नहीं बोल सकते, जैसे अभी मैं कर रही हूँ. Only I'm speaking. This you do in the classroom will be a complete failure. What you need to do is, first, there are 3 things that you need to do. First is I do, then is you do, and then is we do. So first, whatever you want to do, you can do in the classroom. Then you have to allow the children to do something in the classroom, because today's children, they crave for interactivity. Look at the next point, craves interactivity. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody wants to prove that I'm the best. Everybody wants to tell the teacher, ma'am, I can do this, sir, I can do this, I'm good at this, I can speak, I can explain, I can teach, I can conduct. So the child is always craving for interactivity. That means, as someone has very rightly written in the chat box, that means your class should be child-centered. That is you do. After you do your I do, you should always focus on the you do. Let children do something. क्योंकि उनकी जो इंटरनल इच्छा है, मैं भी कुछ हूं, मुझे भी दिखाना है मैं भी कुछ हूं, वो पूरी होगी आपके यू डू से. Or after that, there should be something in which both of you are involved, like some activities, some group discussions, some debating in the class, some role play, whatever you want to do. So that means up short attention span and interactivity, दोनों को डील कर सकते हैं with the formula of I do, you do, and we do. That's very, very important, which was not happening most of the time in our classes. Then, these days the children are very good in visual images. आपने ये सोचा है emojis अचानक से इन्होंने emojis ने कैसे जन्म ले लिया, और emojis इतने पॉपुलर कैसे हो गए? अभी हम अगर मान लीजिए किसी के घर में कुछ भी बहुत दर्दनाक भी हुआ हो, तो सिर्फ वो एक रोता हुआ इमोजी भेज देगा. That's enough to explain the entire scenario. You don't need to write, I'm very sad today, this happened with me, that is the reason of my sadness, I could not eat, I could not sleep. You don't need to write anything. Just a crying emoji, ho gaya. Heart emoji, this emoji, that emoji. So this is because today's children, they can read visual images very well. Many of them are visual learners. I hope you remember the VARK theory, visual learners. After that, VARK. When I hope you people have done that lesson planning training, and in that you have done this. They are visual learners. A is for auditory learners, R is for read write learners, and K is for kinesthetic learner. Means when you do some activity, they will understand. So many students on a large scale these days, they are visual learners. जैसे आप उनको कोई पिक्चर दिखाओगे, कोई इमोजी दिखाओगे, मैप दिखाओगे, चार्ट बनाओगे, माइंड मैप बनाओगे, they will be able to understand very, very well. But if you keep on giving a lecture, remember only 30% of your students understand. 70% of the class does not understand, but is not interested and influenced by your lecture method. So whatever you're speaking is just moving above their head. But along with speaking, if you're using some visual images, children will learn better. Then next is they have weak reading skills. Thanks to the digital platform again for this. Because if I want to say I'm sad, instead of writing I am sad, I just show an emoji. So how will they learn, how to write? Writing skills have been snatched from them. They have been deprived of writing skills because they have used the digital platform for so many things. Next is they have great visual spatial skills. Utilize that. Because today's children are visual learners, their visual spatial skills are also very good. So what you need to do is that compromise with the reading writing through that, or improve the reading writing skills through their visual spatial skills. Next is fast response time. So many times as a teacher, I also remember when I was only into teaching, I also used to tell my children so many times, beta question to sunno tab answer do. The moment we start a question, they'll raise their hand. Yes, ma'am. So it happens, in most of the classrooms. And then the poor teacher is to say, beta, question sun to lo, uski baad jawab dena. So their response time is very, very, very fast. They don't have patience. They cannot sit at one place. They cannot listen to you completely. They want fat results, which in Hindi we say, chat mangni pat bya. So everything is fast in their life. Nothing, no patience, no waiting time, zero waiting time. Everything happens very quick in their life. So we teachers, we also have to run to make up with their speed, to make up that gap which is between teaching and learning. Okay, so this is very, very important. Now, some more things about 21st century classrooms is, सो ऐसे बच्चे जिनका कॉन्सेंट्रेशन स्पैन कम है, जिनका विजुअल स्किल्स अच्छे हैं, जो विजुअल लर्नर्स हैं, जिनका रिस्पॉन्स टाइम फास्ट है, इन बच्चों की क्लासरूम भी तो थोड़ी अलग होनी चाहिए ना. अगर आप वाकई इनके पेस में चलना चाहते तो इनका क्लासरूम भी अब नॉर्मल क्लासरूम ओनली विद बेंच टेबल एंड ब्लैक बोर्ड से नहीं काम चलेगा. सो देयर क्लासरूम is without walls also. Why do I say without walls? Please, I don't mean that you go to school tomorrow and start breaking all the walls. I don't mean to say this. What I mean to say is only that their classrooms are without walls. Like, what are we doing now? The DM is extending the winter holiday. So have we stopped teaching? We have not. We are teaching them online. So the classes are most of this time without walls. And very well said by somebody in the chat box that their classes are beyond the walls also. आप अगर चाहते हैं आज के डेट में that all the topics, all the chapters of your subject, you will only teach sitting in the classroom, then I must say you will not remain a happening teacher. You'll become a boring teacher. I'm very sorry to say this. So if you want to be a happening teacher, if you want yourself to be unpredictable, if you want your children to love you, if you want your children to wait for you in the classroom, please remember that you have to do something, that you take out your children out of the class and then teach them. You have to take them on a field trip. You have to take them to your school garden. You have to use your school building as a teaching aid. You have to give them a variety of exposure, experience, so that they can grasp whatever you want to teach them. Next is, this is as per the NEP also, your classrooms have to be multilingual, at least in the junior primary classes, the must. Because what is important? What is important? Important is understanding. Once the child understands, and if you have given the child a good knowledge of English, suppose we are struggling all of us with English, our major point is कि मेरे बच्चे को English नहीं आती लिखने, मेरे बच्चे को English समझ में नहीं आता, तो हम बार-बार उसको English में ही समझाते. But the purpose is, suppose I teach in Hindi also, suppose I teach in Odia, suppose I teach in Marathi, suppose I teach in Malayalam language. But if the child knows English also, the child will be able to convert it into English and produce it in the answer sheets if required. So you have to be multilingual. Always I say this, don't snatch the gift of multilingualism from your classroom. When your class has got 40 students, उसमें 2 बंगाली हैं, 2 बिहारी हैं, 2 मैथिली हैं, 2 भोजपुर जिले के लोग हैं, 2 बच्चा साउथ से आया है, 2 बच्चा मध्य प्रदेश का है, और वो सारे बच्चों के पास एक ना एक अपनी लैंग्वेज होती है, एक घर का लैंग्वेज, मेरा अपना लैंग्वेज. You try that if there are 2 Bengali students, let the 40 children understand Bengali. If there are 2 students who speak very good Bhojpuri or Maithili, let everybody understand that. At least understand, if not be able to speak. So, you give the children with many languages, and why we say in the primary ages, because in the primary classes only, it's very easy to learn language. As the bacha bada hota, it's difficult for the child to understand, and grasp different languages. So, multilingualism should be a part of modern classroom. Then, everybody will be attracted. Interactive, of course, as I told you, children want to speak. So, give them a chance to speak. Online, then bring your own device. I don't know how many schools are permitting this actually, but if you truly want to make your classrooms 21st century classrooms, then this provision must be there. The children should be able to bring their own device in order to understand and grasp 100% whatever the curriculum transaction is going on as far as 21st century skills are concerned. Sometimes most of the classes are in the cloud also, like I said, online classes. So many things are there in the drives and all, and we retrieve it from there. We ask the children to read from there. We ask the children to understand from there. And what is PBL? PBL means problem based learning. Now, what is problem based learning? जैसे आपने मुझे क्लास में ए टू जेड लिखना सिखाया, ओके, कैपिटल ए टू जेड मुझे लिखना आपने सिखा दिया, मे बी इन विच एवर क्लास, LKG, UKG, विच एवर इज डन. But there may be one child in the class, or there may be two children in the class who have still a problem in writing E, maybe, W, maybe, D, maybe. So, what you have to do is, for those two children in your classroom, you have to maybe prepare some worksheets, give some extra homework, or make them write, hold their pencil and make them write these alphabets. This means you are teaching these two children something that you're not teaching the others, because others are okay with these alphabets, these two are not okay with these alphabets. So problem based learning, इसकी problem है वो दो alphabets में, तो problem को देखते हुए आपने उसके लिए कुछ design किया specifically for those two children, which we also call, sometimes differentiated instructions. This is very, very important. I also keep on telling my teachers, and you have to understand that all 40 students in your classroom are not running the same pace. I got a chance to visit a school. I would not say disclose the name of the school, but anyway, it's a great thing about that school. And there was a maths class going on. So when I went to the maths class, I saw that the children were sitting in a traditional arrangement of seats. So there were 4 rows in the classroom. Now, when I was taking a round, I found that one group is doing something else. The second group is doing something else, third is doing something else, fourth is doing something else. So I asked the teacher that what is happening? What is this all about? So the teacher said, ma'am, these all 4 rows are at different levels of learning. This is going a little behind. So they are doing some other sum which I've given them. This is better than that group. And similarly, the level rises. So when there are 4 types of students in the class, I've classified them into 4 groups. And the question I give is group specific, so that the child or the children or the group of students who are the least in that cadre, they also don't feel demotivated. They can do the sum which is of their level. So, 4 types of classes teaching is going on in one classroom. So this is very important, teachers. You have to understand. And it doesn't take time. I'm telling you, once you are able to identify, you can just go to the classroom and divide. Maybe you need 2 groups, maybe you need 3 groups, maybe you need 4 groups in the class. And then you have 1, 2, 3 groups, and you know that what is the level of each group. And accordingly, the common teaching can always be done. But when it comes to their problem solving or their homework or their worksheets, it can always be a little different. So if this extra effort the teachers are taking in the class, then I am sure that every child will grow in the class. Mostly what happens is we do pay attention to the slow learners in the classroom, but what about our fast learners? What about the genius in the classroom? They are ignored. We feel चलो यार मुझे तो 80% 70% नंबर से मतलब है ना, सारे बच्चे हैं ना, बस ठीक है. But what about the genius who already knows 90%, who can easily get 90%? You have to do something for the child so that 90 to 100 bridge is created, so that the genius child also feels interested in the classroom. नहीं तो वो बोर हो जाएगा, उसे लगेगा यार मैम क्या पढ़ा रही, सब तो मुझे आता ही है, सर क्या पढ़ा रहे हैं, I know all this. So within a classroom there are many classes. So for that, please remember PBL, problem based learning. Now the students evaluate what they see in their teachers. Teach me the way I want. 21st century learners are demanding. They will always tell that what I need, I should get that. Otherwise, I'm not interested in a class. I have heard of so many instances when the teacher goes to the class and wants to teach something, then the children ask, ma'am, what is the use of learning this? What is the use of learning? And basically, the third language teachers, or the art teachers, the music teachers, they get this complaint many a times. You will see music classes going on and some students are doing something else in the classroom. A PhD class is going on and some students are sitting under the tree and doing something. And these teachers many a times they come with this complaint. So it all depends whether you are teaching PhD or art or music or third language whatsoever. You have to create that hallucination. कि मेरा सब्जेक्ट इंपॉर्टेंट क्यों है, आपको क्यों ये सब्जेक्ट पढ़ना चाहिए, इसको पढ़ के आपको क्या फायदे होते हैं. So the children always want to know this, that why should I study this, why should I learn like this, teach me like this, I am better with this, I can do it like this. So they have so many ideas. So it's not like the Gurukul system where the guru is on the higher platform and the knowledge is being transferred from the guru to the student. Now this is not happening. Everybody is a guru in your classroom, please remember this. So that guru to guru transfer is happening. So please remember, you cannot think that any child's intellectual level, any child's intellect level, any child's understanding level is less than mine. Children know many things more than us also. It's only that you know certain things more than the students. If you go to the classroom with this frame of mind, I'm sure you'll be able to mingle with the students very easily and get their support. So you cannot teach the way you were taught. Very, very important. Literacy now has been redefined. You have to stay connected. That means this, computerized education is very important. Augmented classroom means आप 7A में कुछ पढ़ा रहे हो, अब आपने दरवाजा बंद कर लिया और अपनी उस टॉपिक को पढ़ा रहे हैं. दुनिया से आपको कोई मतलब नहीं है, आपको सिर्फ उस टॉपिक से मतलब है. ऐसी एजुकेशन से बच्चों को भी कोई मतलब नहीं है. If you're teaching any topic, if you're teaching polynomials, or you're teaching, I told you, for example, agriculture, or you're teaching voting system, that should be augmented, either augmented physically or augmented digitally with other things which are happening around you. That is very, very important. तभी बच्चे को इंटरेस्ट होगा. बच्चा सोचेगा मैं क्यों कर रहा हूं ये. जैसे सिंपल सी बात मैं आपको समझाती हूँ. आपके घर में सुबह खाना बनता है, शाम को खाना बनता है. क्यों बनता है? क्योंकि आप खाएंगे. अगर आप खाएंगे ही नहीं तो खाना क्यों बनाएंगे? इट्स वेस्ट. This is known as augmented classroom. Okay. Then welcome innovations. Please do. We are very afraid of innovations. हमें बहुत डर लगता है. पहली बार कंप्यूटर आया था, मास लेवल पे रेवोल्यूशन हुआ था. You remember? And now can you imagine your life without computers, without mobiles? So please remember this. Innovation should be a part of your classroom teaching. Don't think that अरे यार हम कैसे इतना कुछ करेंगे, कैसे होगा, हम अकेले क्या क्या कर सकते हैं. मैं तो इंग्लिश पढ़ाने के लिए अपॉइंट हुआ था, अब कहते हैं लाइफ स्किल्स भी पढ़ाओ, अब कहते हैं 21st century skills भी पढ़ाओ. No, please welcome innovation, change your methods and try to give space to everybody. Accept the change of our global connected future. That's very, very important. Now, why do we teach? Why do we teach children? This is the most important question. Why do children come to school? Why do we teach them? So please remember that we are teaching them not because they should get good marks in history, civics, geography, English, maths, Hindi. No, this is a byproduct of education. These are all the byproducts of education. What is the real product of education? What is the real product of teaching? What is the real product of coming to school? The real product is that when you teach somebody, there is some change in the behavior of the child. You induce, you inject, you intend, you try to bring in some behavioral changes in the child. Very true, Ranjanji. In the PTM, you must have heard so many parents come and tell you, सर मेरा बेटा बहुत टीवी देखता है, आप समझाइए ना. तो पेरेंट्स की क्या चाह रहे हैं? व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ सेइंग दिस? पेरेंट ये चाह रहे हैं कि आप मेरे बच्चे को समझाओगे तो वो टीवी नहीं देखेगा, इसके बिहेवियर में कुछ चेंज होगा, which the parents are not able to do. So their expectation from school is the behavior should change. सर पढ़ता ही नहीं है, समझाइए इसको कुछ. तो इसका मतलब क्या है कि सर अगर समझाएंगे तो बैठ के 2 घंटा पढ़ेगा घर पे. So this change in behavior is a prime product of education, the prime product of teaching. साथ में अगर पढ़ेगा, बिहेवियर में चेंज होगी, पढ़ाई में इंटरेस्ट होगा, बैठ के 2 घंटा रोज पढ़ेगा तो साथ में होगा. हिस्ट्री में मार्क्स आएंगे, मैथ्स में आएंगे, इंग्लिश में आएंगे, हैंड राइटिंग इंप्रूव करेगी, ये सीखेगा, वो सीखेगा, ये सीखेगा, ये नहीं सीखेगा. These are the byproducts. Okay, so please understand this. Now let us come to, this is 21st century learners, 21st century classrooms we're talking about. Now what are the 21st century skills? ऐसा कोई भी skill which the child achieves, which the child learns, which the child imbibes, which can help in the holistic development of the child, which can help the child contribute something to the society, is known as 21st century skill. Anything. For example, if the child learns how to speak well, he becomes a good orator or she becomes a good orator. Now, this is the skill which will improve in the holistic development of the child. You know how important it is to speak well. Now जब वो बच्चा अच्छा स्पीक करने लगेगा, वो अच्छे इंटरव्यूज क्रैक कर सकता है, वो जीडीज में क्रैक कर सकता है, वो अच्छी मिमिक्री कर सकता है, वो अपना लाइफ मतलब चला सकता है अच्छा बोलकर, और वो कंट्रीब्यूट भी कर सकता है सोसाइटी के प्रोग्रेस में, वो नेता बन जा सकता है, वो रेडियो जॉकी बन सकता है, वो कुछ अच्छी अच्छी बातें समाज में ला सकता है. यू अंडरस्टैंड? I hope it's very clear you've understood what are 21st century skills. I've just given you an example. Any skill which helps in the holistic development of the child, and through that holistic development, the child can contribute to the society. Just I give this example, like for example, Osama bin Laden. We all know who he was. I don't need to say who he was. Now, इस इंसान ने इंजीनियरिंग की पढ़ाई की थी, जहां तक जानकारी गूगल कहता है. Now, this person who was an engineer, by profession he was an engineer, why he did so much of destruction? Why so much of destruction was brought in the world because of him? Kahin na kahin, there is some fault in the education system which could not make him constructive, which made him destructive. So instead of contributing to the society, instead of contributing to something, he has destroyed something. सो दिस, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एग्जाम्पल, आप प्लीज इसको समझिए, प्लीज इसको याद रखिए. हमेशा जब भी आप क्लासरूम में जाते हैं, ओसामा बिन लादेन के एक एग्जाम्पल को याद रखिए, या आप दूसरे एग्जाम्पल्स भी याद रख सकते हैं. आपके सामने सैकड़ों ऐसे एग्जाम्पल्स हैं. हम इतनी अच्छी पढ़ाई करते हैं, इतने अच्छे स्कूल में जाते हैं, इतने पैसे खर्च करते हैं, लेकिन अल्टीमेटली 15 साल के बाद, 15 मीन्स 12+3, जब हम स्कूल सिस्टम से बाहर आते हैं, इंस्टेड ऑफ बिकमिंग प्रोडक्टिव टू द सोसाइटी, आई बिकम अ डिस्ट्रक्टिव पर्सन. इनफैक्ट अब डिस्ट्रक्टिव क्या क्या, आप खुद को भी नहीं प्रोड्यूस कर पा रहे हैं प्रॉपरली दुनिया के सामने, आप खुद की एक अच्छी लिविंग नहीं अर्न कर सक रहे हैं. ऐसे एजुकेशन का क्या फायदा? क्या फायदा ऐसे एजुकेशन का? विच एजुकेशन कैन नॉट मेक मी इंडिपेंडेंट, द एजुकेशन विच कैन नॉट अलाउ मी टू डू समथिंग फॉर माई सोसाइटी, दैट एजुकेशन, डू यू थिंक इट्स वर्थवाइल? So 21st century skills tells you that please imbibe, please embed some skill into the child through which he, number one, उस child का अपना holistic development हो, and number two, the child can contribute something to the society. Okay, so what are the 21st century skills? The 21st century skills can be two-tier skills there. Number one, learning skills, literacy skills, life skills. बहुत simple. Learning skills, literacy skills, life skills. That means LLL. Okay. लर्निंग स्किल के अंदर क्या क्या आता है? लर्निंग स्किल के अंदर है 4C. कौन कौन सी? क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग, क्रिएटिविटी एंड इनोवेशन, कोलैबोरेशन एंड कम्युनिकेशन. ये 4 चीजें. लिटरेसी में आता है IMT. IMT का मतलब है इंफॉर्मेशन लिटरेसी, मीडिया लिटरेसी, टेक्नोलॉजी लिटरेसी. आज का बच्चा जन्म लेते ही मोबाइल चलाना सीख लेता है, तो किसने दिया उसको टेक्नोलॉजी लिटरेसी? किसी ने नहीं दिया. This the society has given the child. Okay. Next is life skills. हम लोग पहले सिर्फ life skill पढ़ा करते थे. Now life skill has been integrated with 21st century skills. And life skill says flexibility and adaptability, leadership and responsibility, initiative and self-direction, social and cross-curricular interaction. अभी इसमें डिटेल्स में हम जाएंगे, लेकिन 2 मिनट आप सिर्फ ये देखो. When you go from school to college, I hope all of you have the experience of college life. You know, I also have the same experience. I went to the best college of Patna, and then I was expecting sir will come or ma'am will come and they will teach me something. Now what happened, one sir came and he gave a wonderful lecture. You know, I was absolutely, I was gasping and listening to the lecture. Now after his lecture was over and he was going out of the class, you know what a foolish thing I did. I went to him and said, ma'am, sorry, sir, which book you have taught, sir, which chapter? The sir started laughing at me. Sir said, you will understand gradually. You know what? Sir never taught from any book. Sir never taught any page. It was a combined knowledge of years which he tried to deliver in that lecture. Now what happened? In the beginning, I was also very perturbed and disturbed. Now, gradually, I understood, अच्छा ये 10 अच्छी किताबें हैं ऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री की, इनऑर्गेनिक केमिस्ट्री की. इन किताब में सर ये चैप्टर पढ़ा रहे हैं. चैप्टर वी ऑल न्यू. Now we searched कौन कौन से बुक हैं, उसमें से क्या क्या लेना चाहते हैं, इसमें से 4 लाइन अंडरलाइन किया, उसमें से 4 लाइन किया, इसमें से 4 लाइन किया, अपनी नोट्स बनाई. तब हमने देखा अच्छा सर जो पढ़ा रहे हैं और नोट्स मैच कर रहा है. दैट मीन्स आवर प्रोसेस इज ओके. सो दिस इज नोन एज इंफॉर्मेशन लिटरेसी. दिस इज नोन एज अंडरस्टैंडिंग. ये आपको कोई नहीं सिखाएगा. Nobody will teach you this. You have to learn it yourself. And now what we are trying to do is we are trying the schools to take a leading hand and teach the child how to learn. After all, what is education? क्या सारी चीजें जिनकी हमें लाइफ में जरूरत होती है हमें स्कूल में पढ़ाई जाती है? नहीं. लेकिन हमें ये जरूर पढ़ाया जाना चाहिए स्कूल में कि इस चीज की जानकारी आपको कहाँ से मिलेगी. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ आई एम एन एजुकेटेड पर्सन और मुझे आज मटर पनीर बनाना है, तो मैं मटर पनीर बनाने की रेसिपी कहाँ देखूंगी? कैसे मैं मटर पनीर बनाऊंगी? आई सपोज आई डोंट नो हाउ टू मेक मटर पनीर. हाउ विल आई कुक मटर पनीर? सो यू नो माय एजुकेशन हैज taught me कि if you want to know some recipe, you go to YouTube. You go to this, you go to there, you can find out from here, you can ask your friend, you can go to the recipe book, you can type matar paneer and get. This is the use of education. Are you understanding what I'm trying to say? So learning, हम कहाँ से learn कर सकते हैं? That is very important. हमारी literacy, हमारे पास कहाँ information चाहिए आपको. Suppose आपको Indian history पे कुछ information चाहिए, तो आपके बच्चे को बताने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती, तुरंत गूगल पे चला जाता है. लेकिन गूगल के अलावा भी और क्या क्या कर सकता है? दिस इज इंफॉर्मेशन लिटरेसी, मीडिया लिटरेसी, टेक्नोलॉजी लिटरेसी. बच्चे को पता है कि पाउट बनाकर फोटो खींचोगे तो बहुत अच्छी फोटोग्राफ आएगी. नाउ द चाइल्ड नोज हाउ टू मेक अ पाउट and then he will get likes on the FB or on the status. So media literacy, technology literacy, the child gains from the society. Now the schools also have to emphasize on it, and schools have to teach the children that how can you become information literate, media literate, technology literate. Are you getting my point? Next, flexibility and adaptability. आप बहुत अच्छा IAS ऑफिसर हो, IPS ऑफिसर हो, कुछ भी हो आप, ओके. लेकिन अगर आप अपने लाइफ में फ्लेक्सिबल ही नहीं हो, आप अडेप्ट ही नहीं कर सकते, तो क्या होगा? आपकी वाइफ के साथ डिवोर्स हो जाएगा तुरंत, हस्बैंड के साथ डिवोर्स हो जाएगा तुरंत, आपकी लड़ाई हो जाएगी पड़ोसी के साथ, आप लाइफ में कहीं कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करोगे, you'll never smile, you'll never be happy. So what is the use of becoming a great officer and not enjoying life? So, children should be taught that how to change according to time, as well said by Manju ma'am, how to be flexible, how to be adaptable, leadership qualities क्या होती है, responsibility क्या होती है, initiative क्या होती है. अगर ये सारी चीजें, if all these things are there in the child's teachers, you tell me, does the child need to know anything else? He can flip the pages and know a lot about history. He can learn a lot about civics, a lot about science, a lot about, geography from anywhere, any book. But there should be somebody to teach the child learning skills, literacy skills, and life skills. This has actually become very, very important. And the schools need to take it up very, very seriously. So how will you do it? This is another look, same thing. How will you do it? So I'm very happy to tell you that a wonderful book on 21st century skills, a handbook is already there by CBSE. As a teacher, you should try to grab a copy of the same, and there are so many beautiful examples given. Suppose you are teaching any topic in your classroom, you are teaching Doha in Hindi. So while teaching Doha also, you can inculcate one 21st century skill in your child. Very good elaborate examples are given in that handbook, page number 37 to 41 of the handbook. You can always go through that, but I have brought in some examples for you. For example, you want to inculcate critical thinking in the child. There are so many activities given. These are suggested activities. Now, critical thinking kaise hoga? Just for example, I will explain you one. Impromptu debate. Sangeeta ji, please check your network connections. Maybe there's some issue, thus I'm not audible. Now, for example, आप एक हिंदी टीचर हो, ठीक है, आप एक इंग्लिश टीचर हो, आप एक सोशल साइंस टीचर हो, आप एक कुछ भी, any situation, you have to give suppose you announce that tomorrow we'll have a debate on this topic. So these two rows will speak for the motion, these two rows will speak against the motion. Now tomorrow comes, you go to the class and you say, okay, come on, I'm changing. Am I not audible? Am I audible, friends? 2 people have complained that I'm not audible. Am I audible? Okay. Thank you so much, Riti ji. Now, next day when you go to the class, you say, okay, this group which is speaking for the motion will now speak against the motion, and this group will speak for the motion. Impromptu. Turant. And you're not giving any time to the kids. Now, you know what they need to do is they will have to reverse their thinking. Yesterday, they were thinking for the motion. Today, they have to think against the motion. So this is how you can develop critical thinking. तो अब आप बताओ, चाहे आप हिंदी टीचर हो, चाहे आप इंग्लिश टीचर हो, चाहे आप सोशल साइंस टीचर हो, आप ये काम कर सकते हो या नहीं? तो आपको अलग से क्रिटिकल थिंकिंग नहीं डेवलप करानी है बच्चों में, आप जो टॉपिक पढ़ा रहे हो आप उसी में डिबेट दो, आप उसी पे एक डिबेट दीजिए, एंड देन यू आस्क द चिल्ड्रन वेदर दे हैव been able to develop some critical thinking skills or not. So what is the cult is, today's cult is, आप कोई भी सब्जेक्ट पढ़ा रहे हो, किसी भी क्लास को पढ़ा रहे हो, you can imbibe these skills along with your teaching. इसके लिए आपको अलग टाइम देने की जरूरत नहीं है, आप ऐसे ही करते ही होंगे, आप एक्टिविटीज क्लास में करते होंगे, तो आप ऐसी एक्टिविटीज करो ना जिससे ये स्किल्स डेवलप हो सके. देयर आर सो मेनी एग्जांपल्स गिवन. क्रिएटिविटी, ऐसे ही आप क्रिएटिविटी करना चाहते हो, हाउ कैन यू इंप्रूव क्रिएटिविटी ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स? फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू. इमेज टॉक. इमेज टॉक मीन्स यू गिव एनी इमेज. आप हिस्ट्री पढ़ा रहे हो, आप किसी राजा का फोटो दे दो, आप किसी कंट्री का दे दो, आप किसी इंसिडेंट का दे दो, एंड देन टेल द चिल्ड्रन टॉक अबाउट इट, प्लीज टॉक अबाउट इट. That will develop their creativity, like we do picture description in the lower classes. Innovation, a very good, I always do it in my classes. 2 is enough. आप मान लीजिए फॉर एग्जाम्पल आप पढ़ा रहे हो ईवीएस और आप पढ़ाना चाहते हो उसमें कि यू आर टीचिंग अबाउट ट्रांसपोर्ट, सपोज ट्रांसपोर्ट. सो यू टेल द चाइल्ड दैट व्हाट इज लैंड ट्रांसपोर्ट, वाटर ट्रांसपोर्ट, यू एक्सप्लेन देम. Now you give the child 2 shapes, any 2 shapes, maybe a triangle and a square, and you tell using these 2 shapes, you have to draw one figure of land transport, means of land transport. अब आप ये 2 शेप यूज करके गाड़ी बनाओ, चाहे बाइसाइकिल बनाओ, चाहे जो भी बनाओ, लो लैंड ट्रांसपोर्ट का एग्जाम्पल हो. हाउ मच दे हैव टू थिंक, इमेजिन. वो कुछ इनोवेशन करेंगे, कुछ क्रिएटिव करेंगे कि भाई ये 2 ही शेप से मैं एक गाड़ी बना लूं. This is how they will develop their innovation skills. Collaboration. I'm very sorry to say, but do you know something is very famous about our country? Indians are very good individual workers. They're excellent individual workers. But where teamwork is concerned, Indians are far behind in the line. So teach your children collaborative learning. आपने खुद भी महसूस किया होगा. जैसे when you give them some work to do, ma'am, he's not doing. मैम शी इज नॉट डूइंग, मैम ही इज नॉट कंट्रीब्यूटिंग, मैम ये चार्ट पेपर नहीं लाया, मैम वो पेपर नहीं लाया, मैम वो बात कर रहा है. सो मेनी कंप्लेंट्स. बट इफ यू आस्क द चिल्ड्रन यू हैव टू डू इट ऑल अलोन, दे विल कम अप विद द बेस्ट चार्ट्स, बेस्ट प्रोजेक्ट्स. एम आई राइट? सो यू मस्ट टीच देम कोलैबोरेशन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कोलैबोरेशन कैसे पढ़ा सकते हैं? डम शराड इज अ वेरी गुड वे ऑफ कोलैबोरेशन. Like, there's one teamwork, it's a teamwork. Then what you can do is you can have this save the last word for me. That means the child will say something, and with the last word the other child will say something, like a chain game it is. So these are ways of developing collaboration. Communication, what I do in my classes, I tell my PhD teacher, whenever you're playing something with the students, in the PhD teacher they can develop communication skills. You know what I tell them? I tell them, suppose 10 children are playing something, you tell the 11th and the 12th child to do a commentary, running commentary. देखो कम्युनिकेशन कैसे इंप्रूव होता है. टॉक इन पेयर्स. गाइड द ब्लाइंड फोल्ड, मतलब आप एक बच्चे के क्लास में टीम्स बना दीजिए, आप 4-5 टीम्स बना दीजिए जिसमें 4 बच्चे होंगे हर टीम में. एक बच्चा ब्लाइंड फोल्ड हो जाएगा, एंड यू विल टेल द चाइल्ड यू हैव टू मूव फ्रॉम हियर टू देयर. नाउ द चाइल्ड विल मूव with the guidance of his teammates or her teammates. So communication skill improves. Then how will you improve the information, media and technology skills? I think you don't need to do anything here. Children are better, much better than us. Every child these days, you just give a mobile, the child will tell you so many things about which you are not aware. Am I right? Ask them to develop PPTs, ask them to develop a blog, ask them to develop apps. They do it wonderfully. So I think today's children are already very good in information, media, technology. But yes, what the teachers need to do is, what is your role here is, you must make them aware what is good use of information technology and what is the bad use of it. How to control and use it. In fact, there a term comes, a very interesting term I would like to share with you, internet fasting. We were suggested by NCRT that every month, one day you should go on internet fasting. Maybe you can give this lesson to the children also. Otherwise, a day will come when if their phone or if the net is taken back from them, they will not be able to survive. Okay, so let this situation not come with our students. Then what about flexibility and adaptability? अभी क्या होता है? We all stay in flats. छोटे छोटे घरों में रहते हैं हम लोग. जो चीज लगती है काम की नहीं, फेंक दो. लेकिन हम कैसे उसको रीयूज कर सकते हैं? जैसे आपने देखा डिफरेंट यूजेस ऑफ हाउस होल्ड आइटम्स, एक समान है, अब वो उस काम में नहीं हमारे लिए सुटेबल है, बट कैन आई यूज इट फॉर सम अदर वर्क नाउ इंस्टेड ऑफ थ्रोइंग इट अवे? इफ यू नो इन द क्लासरूम्स वो बच्चे पेयर में बैठते हैं या थ्री एक साथ बैठ रहे हैं या जो जैसे भी आपकी सीटिंग अरेंजमेंट है, इफ यू चेंज द प्लेसेस ऑफ स्टूडेंट्स, यू नो दे बिकम, सम ऑफ देम बिकम वेरी अनॉइंड, दे आर नॉट अडेप्टेबल, वो दूसरे के साथ नहीं कंफर्टेबल फील करते हैं. सो कीप ऑन शफलिंग देयर प्लेसेस, कीप ऑन शफलिंग देयर साइड्स, कीप ऑन शफलिंग देयर रोल्स इन द क्लास. द सेम मॉनिटर शुड नॉट बी देयर, you should keep on changing different uses of items. So tell them, you bring a wrapper from home, you bring a broken utensil from home, you bring a broken pot from home, and then say how they can reuse it again. Okay, so you have to be flexible. Most of the children have this problem, my dear friends. Today's kids are not at all flexible and adaptable. Therefore, you know, we have such broken families. We have so many issues in the society. We have so many problems. If you want a solution for that for the next generation, please teach them how to be flexible and adaptable. I think they will love you for this for the rest of their life. Then leadership. Leadership is very important, and leadership actually in itself means a lot of things. Many qualities are developed once you become a leader. So, you know, I think in your schools you should have leader talks. Leaders you admire. In the assembly, put a small section. Every day talk about one leader. I say a leader. I'm not saying about freedom fighters. Please note it down. I'm talking about leaders. Why don't you talk about great leaders in the world in your assembly and show their achievements and even the shortcomings, so that children know that if I fail today doesn't mean I'm not a good leader. I can never become a good leader. I can become a good leader tomorrow also. I can move ahead with my shortcomings also. I can learn so many things from my shortcomings. So you must have this leaders you admire activity. Talk about leaders, quiz to leads. That means you put some quizzes on leaders. अगर हम जानेंगे लोगों के बारे में तभी तो हम उनके जैसा बनना चाहेंगे. आज के बच्चों के रोल मॉडल तो शाहरुख खान और मतलब XYZ ही है. They don't know about leaders. उनके रोल मॉडल्स वो होते ही नहीं है. So talk to the children about leaders. Responsibility. Make monitors. Don't just make 2-3 monitors in a class. Make 10 monitors. 10 कुछ ना कुछ काम करे, तभी तो वो रियलाइज करेंगे ना कि मॉनिटर की रोल कितनी मुश्किल होती है. फिर अगले महीने और 10, अगले महीने और 10. Let every child in your class get the chance to become a leader. Initiate. Very important. आप बहुत समय देखते हैं, when you go to the class, the things are thrown on the floor here and there. When I'm moving in a corridor, I also sometimes find I should be the first person to pick it up and throw it in the dustbin, or pick it up and give it to somebody to whom it belongs. Don't wait for the child. So when you will take an initiative, the children will also take initiatives. Otherwise, you will keep on saying, who will do this, and no hand will be raised. So you must teach the children how to take initiatives. And teachers, please remember, when you are given some work, you should also be happy about it. You should be the leader of the team. Many a times as a principal, I face this. When I give some work to my teachers, they are not very happy about it. Some are very happy, some are not. So please remember this, that when you take initiatives, your children will also take initiative. Self-direction activities. Because जिंदगी भर आपको कोई मोटिवेट करता रहेगा जरूरी नहीं है. You have to be self-motivated. You have to be self-directive. आपको खुद से सोचना, मुझे कहाँ जाना है, कैसे जाना है, कहाँ करूँ, क्या काम करूँ. आप एक नई जगह में जा रहे हैं, हो सकता है आपको अकेले ट्रैवल करना पड़े, आपको अकेले हॉस्टल में रहना पड़े. आप कैसे खुद को संभालोगे, कैसे खुद डिसीजंस लोगे, कैसे अपने लिए डायरेक्शन चूज करोगे. तो ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक है, सेल्फ डायरेक्शन. लाइक you have to talk about self. I can do this. I have done this. I'm going to do this. This is very important, that where is the place of I in your life. क्या आप जिंदगी भर मम्मी पापा का हाथ पकड़ के आगे बढ़ोगे, या आप खुद से अपने लिए कुछ सोच सकते हो. क्या सोच सकते हो? Talk about it. To advocate yourself. Okay, I will not be doing this. And then next is productivity. आप एक बच्चों से सवाल करें, whenever you get time, dear child, list how many things you can do. You can do. आप देखो लिस्ट कितनी छोटी होती है पहले, और धीरे धीरे when you develop 21st century among the kids, you will see how the list becomes longer and longer and longer. Ask the child to praise yourself. Don't wait for the world to praise you. Praise yourself. Be self-motivated. And this I would say for the teachers as well. Please don't wait for your principal or your director or your chairman to praise you. Don't wait for that increment day कि पैसे मुझे कितने बढ़े, that decides my productivity. No, not at all. You decide your productivity and let the children decide their productivity. Okay, so this is very very important in social skills. तो मैं जरूर कहूँ, आज के डेट पे आप किसी भी बच्चे के घर पे जाइए, आप देखेंगे बच्चा कमरा बंद करके पढ़ाई कर रहा है. क्या कर रहा है? पढ़ाई कर रहा है. पूजा में क्यों नहीं आया? पढ़ाई कर रहा है. दोस्तों से क्यों नहीं मिला? पढ़ाई कर रहा है. शादी में क्यों नहीं गया? पढ़ाई कर रहा है. आई डोंट नो व्हाट पढ़ाई दे आर डूइंग. आजकल बच्चे एक रूम से दूसरे रूम आते भी नहीं है. कोई बड़ा हमारे घर आता है, उसको प्रणाम करने, उसको हेलो कहने, कुछ नहीं है. बच्चे का कोई रोल नहीं है. और यही बच्चे जब बड़े होते हैं, उनकी शादी होती है, तो हम एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं वाइफ के साथ घुल मिल कर रहे हैं, सास ससुर को जाके प्रणाम करे, जाकर कभी कभी फुर्सत में मिले. कैसे होगा? घर पर तो आपने दिन भर उसको बंद करके रखा कि उसको पढ़ना है, उसको पढ़ना है, उसको पढ़ना है. तुम खेलने मत जाओ, तुम घूमने मत जाओ, तुम किससे मिलने मत जाओ, तुम इंजॉय करने नहीं जाओ. और अचानक आफ्टर फ्यू इयर्स इन द लाइफ यू वांट द ड्रास्टिक चेंज इन द चाइल्ड. दिस विल नॉट हैपन. So please keep emotions day, emoji days. Give us circle time. जैसे we do a circle time in our school. सारे बच्चे गोल बनाकर बैठ जाते हैं. Then they will talk to the class teacher. Talking, developing social skills is very, very important these days. Social and emotional skills development is very, very important. These are some of the methods by which you can do it. Now you'll ask, ma'am, how to do all this? So you can discuss, you can do brainstorming, role play, games, situation, case studies, debate, storytelling, dance, yoga, puppetry. There are so many methods by which you can develop these skills in your students. Even CBSE is conducting so many activities to develop 21st century skills. Many a times we teachers do think, ये फालतू में क्यों ये activities आ गए, क्या फायदा इसको कराकर? Please remember that those activities are to develop the 21st century skills within your kids. जो circular CBSE के आते हैं उसको जरा ध्यान दीजिए. They are themselves very good activities. So I would like to end this session suggesting you to go through the life skill book and suggesting you that apart from giving knowledge in various subjects, please try to develop the skills in your students for which they will thank you for the rest of their life. Thank you so much. Any questions? If you have any questions, you can put it up in the chat box. I'll be very happy to answer. Thank you so much. You are a wonderful group, very interactive, like the 21st century learners. Throughout the show, I could see the chat box. There were some good things coming up in the chat box, great answers, great suggestions coming up. Please remain like this, remain inquisitive in life, remain childlike. Don't be ashamed of asking questions. Don't be ashamed of giving your views. That is how you become better, and this is how your children will become better. So I don't think there are any questions. Thank you so much, friends. Have a great day. Happy New Year. This, I think, was the first session of Patliputra Sahodaya in the new year, and I'm so happy that I have been able to participate in it. Thank you, Patliputra Sahodaya, once again for all your support and cooperation. Thank you. Thank you. May I leave now?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.